Hi guys, welcome to the garden. It's now late summer and that means it's a sad time because it means all of your strawberries have probably finished if they're anything like the June bearing variety we have here. What you may have noticed though is they've started producing something else, and if they're anything like mine you'll notice they've produced quite a lot of these, and these are your strawberry runners. These funny little stems that have what looks like a miniature version of the plant on the end of them is a method by which strawberries asexually reproduce. What that means is the strawberry does not actually have to make flowers and fruit and therefore seed production in order to make new plants. It's almost like a secondary way to ensure that they pass on their genetics to the next generation. However, because they're not making seeds, it means that these plants are going to be genetically identical clones to the original mother plant. These unique stems will emerge from the base of the plant, known as the crown, anytime from midsummer. They typically send these out in a lot higher frequencies after fruit production has finished. So the way these stems work is they'll grow roughly anywhere between 1 and 2 feet before attempting to set these roots and establish this new plant. The reason they do this is they need to be an adequate distance away from the original mother plant, that they're not competing for things like sun, nutrients and water. So once one of these nodes reaches the required distance away from the plant and also has a sufficient contact time with the soil, it will start to produce these little root nodules, as you can see just here. It is from these root nodules then, over the next few weeks, they'll start to form their own adventitious root system. And once these roots are established enough, they will no longer need the nutritional support provided by this stolon that links to the original mother plant. It's at that point where, if you're attempting to clone these, that you'd cut these, remove these, and potentially transplant them elsewhere. So why might you want to keep these? If you remember what I said previously, all of these plants, they're going to be genetically identical clones to the original plant that you took them from. And as a result, if you have a particular variety of strawberry that you absolutely love the taste of, they're sweet, big berries, and good disease resistance, then you can essentially ensure that all of those traits are passed on to the next generation of plants. So as you can see here, I've already cloned a substantial amount of these this year, and I could have easily cloned probably 10 times that amount if I was to use all of the runners that were available to me. If you want to see how I did this, I've got a little video where I cloned some white strawberries known as pine berries that I'll put a link in the description below. Another reason you may want to keep your strawberry runners is to act as a ground cover. We've got this plum tree, and surrounding it we've got these hexagonal planters, and annoyingly in between them it's quite difficult to mow, and so it gets quite long and weedy. So my intention is, in the future, I'm going to let some of these runners from this particular strawberry plant droop over and set its roots to kind of fill that gap and ensure, rather than getting weeds, we're going to end up with some additional plants. And not only that, strawberries act as a great ground cover and they'll help retain some of the moisture in that soil too. So, reasons to remove. If you've got limited space, or you've got an area where there's already an abundance of strawberries, having these additional runners are just going to sap energy away from the original plant and also make it an over competitive zone. What that means is that all the berries, if they do make them, are going to be smaller, there's going to be potentially less of them, and you're going to need to water that patch considerably more. So I hope this video has given you a little insight into exactly what strawberry stolons are and helped you with your decision on whether or not to cut these or to keep these for future plants. All the best.